If you speak the wise words, if you speak right words, then you kind of minister like to an hungry soul. You bring certification. But the tongue can bring death or life. So whatever you are saying can bring life or can bring death. Just your words can bring life, even in a relationship. Those of you that are married and those of you that are planning to get married, the words you say to your spouse or you say to your partner will either bring life in the relationship or will kill the relationship. Imagine if one of the partner comes and looks at the other partner and says, I even don't know what I was thinking when I looked at you. I never knew you were this ugly. Just imagine that statement. Even if it is over, the impact of that statement is long term. That impact, I don't know what happened. What came over me? How come of all the people I chose, what was I thinking? You are figureless. Those words will never, you will never be forgiven. It does not matter how much they preach about forgiveness. Those words will never. It is words, those words have brought death into the relationship. A parent says something to a child, and the parent forgets he said it, but the child never forgets because that word had a lifetime impact. I see young people today that will still say their fathers maybe are already gone, they are passed on, but the young person comes and says, my father said this, my mom said this. Whether it was positive or negative, those words are still ringing in their minds. I have told you here, we were poor. I grew up in a poor home, but my grandfather made me believe we were rich. He said, well, no, we have a different level. We don't go begging. There are things that my grandfather told me, and I grew up very proud thinking we had something, only to realize we had nothing. So the words have life or they have death. Whether you're speaking to your spouse, whether you're speaking to your colleague, whether you're speaking to your team, the words you speak to your team determine whether the team will have life or the team will die. Some of us leaders have killed our own teams by what we say to them. People don't thrive to be around you because the words you say are discouraging, they are disheartening, they are not good. So even if they're in your team, they don't even want to come closer to you because you scatter the team. Some of us scatter the team by the words we say, not because the vision is not there, not because the anointing is not there, not by the grace is not there, but because of the words we say, we scatter our teams. Jesus said something very scary, but to read it before I shift gears. Matthew 12, verse 36. Jesus made a very powerful point here. Go ahead.
And I tell you this.
Yes.
You must give an account on judgment day for every idle word you speak.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but if it is true, and it was said by Jesus, then we need to be careful. If it was said by Jesus, then we need to be careful. Go ahead.
The words you say, the words you say will either acquit you or condemn you. It
is your words, the words you are saying. Those words you say will either acquit you or condemn you. So I tell you this, you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak. Some of us just want to be comedians, speaking idle things. And Jesus said, we'll give account for those words. Because the words we say either impact, they have a positive impact or a negative impact. So as a leader, you have to be careful how you select your words, which words you use. It's very, very important. In leadership, our words carry a lot. Our words are heavy as leaders. So if you are leading a team of 3, you still have to be careful with what you say. If you are leading a team of 7, you still have to be careful with your words. If you are leading a team of 20, you still have to be careful with your words. At any level you are, as a leader, you must watch your mouth. You must watch what you say. You must watch your sentences. Because your sentences carry life or they carry death. Your sentences will scatter your team or will encourage, will energize your team. The Bible is full of all of those things, but I don't have enough time to read you all the scriptures that I would gather you. Now, as a leader, I pray that in the future I am going to be able to go through this word next. But as a leader, it is important you get this word. Let's write it. I got this from John Maxwell. Clear, the word clear. As a leader, clear needs to be your motto. Needs to be, yesterday we talked, was it yesterday or the other day we talked about facts? Yesterday was facts. So today we are talking clear. Look at your neighbor, clear. Clear. Okay. So this is a very important word for a leader. So C represents communication, L represents leadership, E represents equipping, A represents attitude, and R represents relationships. Now, for any leader, if you're really going to be an amazing leader, you need this package. You need to be a master at communication. We will deal more about that. You need to provide leadership. You as the leader, you need to provide leadership every day of your life. In every given circumstance, you remain the leader. When things go good, you remain the leader. When things go bad, you remain the leader. Whether training, you are the leader. It is chance, it is hot, you remain the leader. When things are falling apart, you are the leader. As a matter of fact, you are more needed as a leader when things are falling apart, when it's raining, when things are bad. That's when your leadership is needed. When things are okay, the team can run without you. As a leader, you have the responsibility of equipping your team. You have to be a master of communication. You have to always provide leadership. Number 2, it is your responsibility to equip your team. I said this before. I learned this, but this is what I love. They taught us, never blame the people. Train the people. You don't blame people, you train the people. When things are not going okay, don't blame the people. It's not going okay because probably you have not trained them. When things are falling apart, don't blame your team. Train your team. Now, after you've trained and nothing is coming, then you can go ahead. I'm still on clear. Then you can go ahead and fire. But before you fire, the question is, did you train me? Are you with me here? Before you fire me, did you train me to do what you expected me to do? Because probably I have the potential, but because you did not train me, I was not able to deliver. So you as a leader, it is always your responsibility to equip your team. Equip them for the present, equip them for tomorrow, equip them for the future. Again, whether you have 3, you have 7, you have 100, you have 1,000, it is your responsibility as a leader to equip them. Ask him as a neighbor, are you ready to be an equiper? Sometimes we have leaders who assume that their teams should know what to do. No, my friend, we don't know what to do. That's why you are our leader. You are the one that knows what we need to do. So train us in the area you expect us to perform. Another thing is attitude. You as a leader, your attitude should always be great. Do not expect us to have an amazing attitude if your attitude as a leader is the wrong one. As a matter of fact, you as the leader, you have to model attitude. You have to set the standards for attitude in the organization or in the company or in the office. It is your responsibility as the leader to set the mode, to set the attitude of the organization. So if people have bad attitude, probably they are learning the bad attitude from you. So if you have a rotten attitude as a leader, you need to fix your attitude because, the anointing flows from the head. You never heard that saying. Hey, to the beards and down, So if you, the leader, you have an ugly attitude, and then you have people who have an ugly attitude, it's because you display that. Then the other thing, as a leader, you must be a master of making relationships, building great relationships. You have to have a master at building relationships with the people in your team, with the people in your circle, with the people. You have to be a networker, a great relationship person. You can't be at war with everything and everyone. These are responsibilities of a leader. A master of communication, a master at providing leadership, a master at equipping others, a master of great attitude, and a master at making great relationships. If you cannot do these things, then you are not a leader. You need to come one level lower. Be a follower. Probably after following for some time, you can now qualify to lead. Don't put yourself out as a leader if you cannot communicate, you cannot provide leadership, you don't have ability to equip others, your attitude is bad, and you're not good at relationships. If you're a leader and you're an introvert, you still have to come out of that shell and build relationships. Ask your neighbor, how great are you at building relationships? Okay. Give me the next statement. So these are quick statements I want to run through. You as a leader, you must be able to communicate with maximum effectiveness. As a leader, you must communicate. You must be able to communicate with maximum effectiveness. It is our job as leaders, it is our responsibility as leaders to communicate with maximum effectiveness. No one displays this like Jesus. You find Jesus using different examples, different illustrations, trying to bring a point home for the people he's talking to. When he's talking to farmers, he speaks a farmer's language. When he's talking to lawyers, he speaks a lawyer's language. But you as a leader, you must be able to communicate with maximum effectiveness. Whatever it takes, communicate with maximum effectiveness. Next statement, please. If you can't get your message across clearly to motivate others to act, your message is useless. So you have a message, you have an idea, you have a dream, but if you cannot communicate it clearly, if you cannot pass on that message clearly to your followers, to your team, then your message is useless. It's only useful to you, but the rest of us cannot understand it. In other words, having a message is not enough. If you have the message, then you have to have a way to communicate that message clearly so that your team members, so that people in your company, people in your organization, people in your office are able to understand the message. Because if that message is not understood, then it is useless. So if you can't, you as the leader, if you can't get your message across clearly to motivate others to act, your message is useless. Look at us and say, I know you have a message, but can you communicate it? Can you get it across clearly? That's why some single people can't find somebody to marry them. They have a message but they cannot communicate clearly. And because they cannot get the message across, nobody has said yes to their idea. And some of you don't even know how to begin to package the message, let alone trying to get it across. You can't even package it. And then at the end of the day, it is useless. Next statement, please. Good communicators take something complicated and do what? Make it simple. Good communicators will take something complicated and make it simple. Make it easy for people to understand it. The term might be so complicated. You see, like, I went somewhere to preach and somebody was, casting out demons and I was saying, I exorcise you. The demons must have done more grammar to be able to understand. I exorcise you in the name of Jesus. So you as a leader, you need to find a way of making that message simpler or easier for people to understand. People like Leviticus, they have this long, long term in the medical world. It's simple. Give me a simpler word. Let me understand what you're talking about. You even bite your tongue when you're trying to read the whole tongue. You can imagine how we went from Panado to Musau's other new words now they use. Or a painkiller. They just want to say painkiller, but they use these complicated words to mean painkiller. See? Sanado. So you as a communicator, you take those complicated terms and you make them simpler for your community, for your leaders, for your class, for your team. You have to find a way of communicating the same thing in simpler terms so that they are able to understand. We'll talk more as we go on. Yeah, give me the next one. Napoleon, no? But it says, be clear, be clear, be clear. That is it. Don't make it complicated. He was your guy. That's the law of communication. As a communicator, as a leader, be clear, be clear, be clear. You as a leader, you cannot afford to complicate your communication. You cannot afford to complicate your message. You cannot afford to complicate it. You just need to be clear, be clear, be clear. Look at your neighbor. Be clear, be clear, be clear. They didn't hear you. Huh? Next statement, please. A great communicator's friends are simplicity and clarity. Simplicity and clarity. Those are your great friends as a communicator. It is simplicity and clarity. Simplicity and clarity. You have to live by these standards as a leader, as a team leader, as a pastor, as a preacher, as a teacher, as a medical doctor. You have to live by this. As a business person, make sure that your message is simple and clear. A great communicator's friends are simplicity and clarity. Simplicity and clarity. If you're going to be an amazing husband, this needs to be your tools. You need to be able to be simple and clear. You want tea? Don't make it a complicated statement. I need black tea with some spices. Make it simple for her. You don't just say, I know, those days my grandfather, my grandfather, would take this. I tell you, some nicotine, Yeah, some nicotine and, all of those things, some whatever, all of whatever you want, whatever you are saying. Make it simple. If you're a wife, also, please, women, you young ladies, women, help us men. Women can make their things so complicated. The story is so complicated that the man is confused by the end of the conversation. What did she mean? What did she say? No. You as a great communicator, make it simple. I need 10,000 shillings. I'm going to the salon. I saw my friend. My friend had this amazing hair. I don't know whether it came from a... You want 10,000 for your hair? Bring it. Be straight. Let's make life easy. Hey, by the way, did you see so and so in church? Hey, I'm like, if you ask me that, I'll be saying, who told you that I go looking at people's heads? When did that become my job, looking at people's hair? You go straight. You want money to do your hair. You see Sister Losy's hair. I don't know where she went. That hair. People can make hair. I just need to find out who is a hairdresser. No. All of that is not what you are saying. What you are saying is you want to make hair like hers. How much is it? We finish. We do something else. Next, give me another one. Great communicators are audience-oriented. Jesus was the best on that one. If you study Jesus' communication, if you study Jesus' messages, you discover that all the time he was communicating, he was audience-oriented. His focus was the people he was talking to. So when he's talking to farmers, he says there was a farmer. He says one man planted. He's talking to people that understand agriculture. When he's talking to people in government or in the kingdom, he says, and there is a kingdom. The kingdom of God is like. So you basically, what I'm trying to say, you craft your message based on your audience. So like, for example, if I start telling you stories about snow and how snow comes down, some of you say, snow? What are you meaning, snow? What is snow? How does it look like? I will have sent you to another world. But if I talk to you about Miala, So you have to craft your message based on who you are communicating to. I mean, if I came here and I started describing, there is this big shop we go to. It is called Walmart. Now, Walmart, Rachel will understand because she has been to Walmart. It's like 1 kilometer that side, 1 kilometer this way. Everything you need is there. And then you have to go in picking for yourself. Chinatown, If you search up, some of us don't even know Chinatown. We just hear it on TV. We have never been there. So you as you communicate, you have to find out, am I communicating? Because at the end of the day, you may be saying all these beautiful things, but your audience doesn't pick the message because the illustrations, the language, the wording does not connect with your audience. You must understand your audience. You must use words and statements that your audience can easily understand. You have to be audience-oriented. Give me the next statement, please. I hope you get this one. It's so powerful. A leader must get things done through others. To do that, you must be an effective communicator. So basically, the leader is not the doer of things. Leviticus, you are reading too many hours. You need to take a nap. You'll pass, my son. You'll pass. Don't read it too much until you get to the paper and you start dozing. A leader must get things done through others. To do that, you must be an effective communicator because the leader is not the doer. The leader carries the message. The leader motivates others to act. The leader tells them what needs to be done, and then the rest do the things. So you as a leader, you must be an amazing communicator or an effective communicator so that others will do what you want done. Give me the next statement. It will maybe add to this one. Are you sure you have not jumped a statement there? Okay, let's go with that one. It's okay, you're right. When you speak to people, give them something to feel. Give them something to remember. Give them something to do. When you speak to people, give them something to feel, something to remember, something to do. You must achieve those 3 things in your speech. Make them to feel something. Give them something to remember. Give them something to do. At the end of your communication, at the end of your speech, at the end of your lecture, at the end of your teaching, at the end of your preaching, give people something to feel, something to remember, something to do. Give me the next one because of time. I have so many more to bring to you. I have not even started yet. And I have 10 minutes to go. It's only through communication that you cause others to internalize your vision and implement it. So your vision must be implemented by others. But for your vision to be implemented by others, you have to be an effective communicator. You have to be able to communicate so that they capture it. It becomes their vision, and then they act on it. You have to be so good at communicating that the people hearing you will understand your vision and they will act upon your vision. They will not just understand it, it becomes their vision. And after you communicate, you are literally pushed away. then they own the vision. It is theirs now. They begin saying, our, us, we. This is our vision. This is our mission. This is our mandate. People will never say our vision, our mandate, our mission, our mandate, unless you have been able to communicate so effectively that now they have internalized the vision. It has become their vision, and now they can act upon it. The reason you're failing to understand your message is because you have not become an effective communicator. The reason they cannot run with your vision is because you are not communicating it effectively. And I mean any vision you have. Even if you want to start a business, if you communicate it so well, people will buy into it, and they will even fund your vision because you are so convincing. You want to go to school, the reason you don't have money to go to school is because you have not communicated your message well. If you communicate it so well, you're going to find somebody that says, I must give you money to go to school. The issue is about how we communicate. Before I knew Jesus Christ, I was a blocker. I used to block women for my no, I was a blocker for my uncles. But all my uncles had to tell me, they just had to point and say, that is the one I need. I said, okay, the job is done. Where do you want her? She'll be there at the exact time you want her. My uncle didn't have to say anything. My uncles just had to tell me, I need her at 8 p.m. at place X. Thank you, sir. She'll be there. And I will go and work on her. Never at one stage did I fail my mission. Never. Give me the next thing. Connecting increases influence. This only happens through effective communication. So connection is crucial for influence. You cannot influence people unless you have connected with them. And remember, leadership is influence. Nothing less, nothing more. So you as a leader, you must have influence over the people you lead. You must have influence over your team. You have to have influence over those you are leading. And for that to happen, you must connect. Give me the next line on that one. While everyone communicates, those who truly connect are able to impact others more deeply. So all of us do communicate. But it is those that truly connect. Those that truly connect are able to impact others more. By the way, when we talk about this, there are different forms of communication. The Bible says there is a garment of harlots. I don't know if you've ever read that scripture. Putting on a garment of a harlot. That means they don't have to say anything. They just dress like a harlot, and it tells you this person is a harlot. So dressing is a communication formula. Your dress code is a message. The way you dress tells the people who you are or where you come from. It's a message too. It's a non-verbal, but it's a communication. Your dressing is a communication. If you have a spirit of lust, you don't have to say anything. I may read that from the way you dress. Ask your neighbor, what does your dress communicate? Ask your neighbor, what does your dressing, what message do we get from your dressing? It's also a form of communication. There are those that dress to show that they are rich. They may even be poor, but they dress to show that they are rich. It's a message too. Our appearance is a message. Somebody looks at the way you appear and determines, I can do business with this one. I can't do business. That's why they say, first impressions last. Some people don't even want to hear anything you have to say. They just look at your appearance and they determine whether they will do business with you or not. And you wonder, why did they make a decision? How did they make this? Because you came with a non-verbal communication. You communicated through your appearance who you were. And because of the message you communicated through your non-verbals, they made a decision about you. You walk into the room and they are ready. They just look at you, they decide. The way you talk, just the tone, leave the message, but the tone you use while you're speaking, also it's a communication. It says something about you. Not the words. You may be using the right words, but if the tone does not connect, if the tone does not blend, if the tone does not marry with the right words, people will listen to the tone and they'll make a decision about you. Are you with me? There is a way I can dress here and I'll disconnect with all of you. If I came here every day with, high brand shoes, high brand suits, high brand things, some of you will silently pull away from me. Musumba is not my level. Are you with me? So all of those are communication. So connecting, as you seek to connect with people, you have to look at your message. To connect, you have to look at the way you appear, the way you dress, the way you talk, the words you use. Don't just think people will just listen to your message. They're also going to look at your appearance. So what messages are you sending through your appearance? What messages are you sending through your talk? What messages are you sending through your walk? What messages are you sending? Do people see you and say, I think he's full of potential. He's worthy to be invested in. Or they look at you and they say, that is disaster waiting to happen. Give me the next one. I think I'm not going to manage with finishing all what I have to say, but let me run through this. Good communication is not enough. Leaders must establish a real connection to inspire and guide. So you cannot just communicate, but you also have to make sure you connect with the people you are. You have to connect, find a way. There has to be a real connection. Don't just have a message. Have a way of connecting with people. That's one of the things I do practically here. Even when I'm not here and I'm on Zoom, I seek to connect with people in this room, even when I'm not here. So while people are coming in, maybe during praise or while I'm preaching, and they will move the cameras around, I will capture the face, I will get the name. And then I'll say something about that person or about that name. And for some people, that is an instant connection. Those twins, it is Nakato and Babire. Now, if they brought them here, many of us will not tell the difference. But you give me both of them, I will tell the difference. So there is a way I now connect with Nakato because she knows I know who she is. I know the difference between Nakato and Babire. One time they said to me, "Do you know the difference between us?" I said, "I do." Somebody is asking, "Who is this one?" That one is Nakato. Now, if we can bring in Babile, you will be amazed. They look they are exactly the same. But you as a leader, you have to seek to connect. I know why I connect with James. I know how to connect with Derek. I know how to connect with Susan. I know how to connect with Jemima. Some of you, if I ask you who is Jemima here, you'll have no idea. Because the wife has told him. The wife has given him the idea. Hey. You have to connect, eh? Fine. So you have to connect. So you have to find something that you have to build a real connection with the people you are talking to. I mean, get to know their names, get to know their stories. I have more to tell you about that. But build a connection with the people you're talking to. When you go to the room, when you go to a place, especially if you're going to be a speaker like me, when you go to the place for the first time, those people that come to greet you, look into their face, get to know their names. What's your name? Repeat it to that person. Capture something about that person if you can. And if you can, use something, use an illustration, an example with that person in the room. By the end of the day, that person will not forget. They will forget everything you said, but they will not forget that you connected with them. They will forget all the message. I've been with Chede for a long, long, long time. But I know how to get her. I go back to the old stories. And then she says, Papa, you also don't forget. We've connected. I know what Deborah loves most. Deborah loves her father loves with everything in her. So if I want to connect with Deborah, I talk about how is your dad. If I just say how is your dad, she melts. Because her first boyfriend is her dad. If you want Susan to love you, like her mother. It's her mother that is, even if she wants to say my dad, she first says my mother, and then she says my dad. So if you want to connect with Susan, have something to do with her mother. Yamima is saying I should not tell you her story. I will not tell your story. I will keep it. If you talk to about his wife, he will connect. Immediately. It is Elizabeth that matters. You know my wife. I mean, even if we're not talking about his wife, he will bring my wife. So you as a leader, you need You need to find a way of connecting with people. There are things that are special to them. Are you with me? Okay, give me another one. Our time is fast spent. I have to go to another meeting. Jesus. I have like 20 things to tell you. What should I do? Leave that one. It's not about you. That's the audience part of it. To connect effectively, focus on others rather than yourself. This involves understanding their needs, listening. Bring that statement quickly. This involves understanding their needs, listening actively, and being. When you're talking to people, please try to understand their needs. Listen actively. That is, engage with the person. These days we have a problem when people are talking to us. We are on our phones. We are checking Facebook. We are distracted. Just give that person 1 minute of your time. Capture something, and that is at the end of the day, repeat that statement. Like when Hope is talking to me, she's like, "Are you listening?" So I have to confirm. I have to repeat whatever she has been telling me to say, okay, so you had a dream, yes? And in the dream, the headmaster was following, and then there's a cow, and the cow fell, and the cow busted, I have to repeat everything she's telling me. To her, I'm listening if I do that. So listen actively. Okay. Connection requires humility and willingness to serve others. You must be willing, you must be humble enough and be willing to serve others. All right, number 3, let me go to that one. It says simple and clear communication. We talked about that. I'm rushing through our time. My time is finished. Pastor Isaac, I'm sorry, my time is finished. I'm just chuk. Effective communication communicators simplify their messages. I said something about that already. And the next statement, overly complex language or ideas can create barriers. I also said something about that. Okay, let me say this. Whatever I'm saying now, Mike has it. He can give it to you. Okay? Mike can give it to you, so you don't have to die trying to write everything I'm saying here. So if you use those heavy languages, when people don't understand what you are saying, there is a barrier. By making communication clear and straightforward, leaders can connect more easily with their audience and make ideas memorable. If you make your communication clear and straightforward, you as a leader, you will connect more easily with your audience. Connecting is more than a skill. Connecting is more a skill than natural talent. That's my next thing. Connecting isn't just a natural gift, it is a skill that can be developed. So to develop your ability to connect with people, it is something you can learn. You have to learn and master. Some of us pay heavily to go to classes to be trained how to connect with people. Amina. So it's not just a natural thing. Don't say, it's pastor is good at that. No, I didn't know how to do it before I pastored you. I went to school, I was trained how to connect. I was also like you, I didn't know how to connect. Now I know. That is James, that is Andrew, that is Jonah, that is so and so. And then each person, I pick a story about them. I keep a record in my mind. There is a story I'm keeping in my mind about you. So after 10 years, I'm going to bring it up about you and say, hey, you remember those days when this happened? Remember those days you were in Chikomando? Hey, you still remember that? Oh, yeah, I do. And where I can, I take pictures. I have pictures that are 8 years old, 5 years old. I have a picture of the first week I think Teacher Deborah joined our team. I have it up to now. And it's on my phone. So she can't hire anybody to delete it from the computer. I tell my children, do whatever you do. Me, I'm keeping your story. The day you get married, I will have a PowerPoint presentation on your wedding day. Hey, Rachel, be ready. I'll pull out all those photos when you are more of a comedian than a Rachel we have now. In connecting, it's very important asking questions, telling relevant stories, understanding body language. I talked about that. That can help anyone improve their ability to connect. You know, asking questions. Oh, yeah. You said what? Okay. Did you say that you went to Clock Tower today and you met Rachel there? That makes this person believe you were listening to the story. You ask some questions. If you're telling stories, tell relevant stories. Don't tell us stories of Nambutia where we have never been. I can't connect with it. Give me a story that I can connect with. Ngenge. When we were in Ngenge planting rice, I'm wondering what is Ngenge now and what is Ngenge. If you're talking to me, talk to someone. Give me a story I can connect with. Relevant stories. And as you talk to people, also try to look at their body language, understand their body language. Because somebody might be telling you all good, but their body is saying it is not good. So try to connect the message with their body language. If you can understand people's body language, people will connect with you more. Because they then understand that you're not just listening to their words, you also listen to their feelings. So never just listen to somebody. As somebody's talking to you, also study their body language. What is their body language saying? Somebody might be talking to you, but they are scared. Try to give them confidence. Tell them to calm down. That tells them that you actually not just listen to what they're saying, but you're also reading beyond what they are saying. Especially when women talk. Women said this. There's another message here that they are not saying. And then they jump and say this. Now it's up to you to connect all of the things and come up with a message. Okay, let's leave that one alone. Also, connecting means finding common ground. People are more likely to listen and respond when they feel understood. People are more likely to listen and respond when they feel understood. Find areas of mature interest or shared experience to build trust and rapport, which helps to establish a foundation for deeper connection. If you find somebody from Busoga, they are proud of Mili College, they are proud of Kira College, say something about what they connect with. If you find somebody from Bugisu, pick up something, Mount Elgon, or find something that they connect with. I've ever been to Mbale. Find something they connect with. Umukuka Pastor Isaac is a Mukuka man. So find something, say something that kind of, find something that is of interest to them. If you're talking to Madame Esther here, don't mention a boy called Mark. Don't forget a boy called Mark. She will open up if you talk about Mark. That guy is loved, eh? She has a, Mm-hmm. There was a response already. When we talk about Mark, we get a response. Okay. So find something that for Madame Esther Mirembe, Mark is the deep connection. You try it this week. Find her somewhere and talk about Mark. You will see how she flourishes. Find her somewhere. Or call her on phone and listen to the tone of her voice. Talk, and then ask about Mark. You will see the tone changes. She's saying, stop now. Okay, I've stopped. The next one is energy and passion. Energy and passion create connection. Energy and passion create connection. Passion, it's contagious. Showing genuine excitement, energy, and commitment about a topic can draw others in. So I'll pick on Nangomba. When he decided he's getting married, he was so excited. That's all he was talking about. If you wanted a conversation with him, we'd talk about the marriage. He was very excited about it. So find what they are excited about and kind of connect with that. And it will draw people into wanting to hear you. Make the communication experience more engaging and impactful. Connection goes beyond words. Connection goes beyond words. I'm about to finish. Connection goes beyond words. This statement, I wanted to bring it, so maybe I'll end here. Non-verbal cues such as eye contact, gestures, tone of voice are just as important as spoken words in conveying what? Sincerity and establishing trust. Eye contact, the gestures, the tone of voice are all important. It's very, very important. Mike will give you all of that if you treat him nicely. Mike, you can charge a little fee for all of the things. Mike is born again, so he shouldn't charge. For freely you have received. Bring me the next point 8. I want to run to point 8. Inspire, don't just inform. That's another problem with communicators. We like to just inform. But you need to create inspirations. Make people feel valued and capable rather than just sharing information. Effective communicators aim to inspire, helping others see their potential and motivating them toward positive change. You combined 2 statements here, boss, but it's okay. Give me the next one. You'll get the full message from the man. If you have not finished writing, you'll get the whole thing from him. Connecting requires authenticity. Authenticity builds trust and makes others feel safe. Give me the next statement. Being honest, vulnerable, and real with others fosters a deeper connection than presenting a perfect image. Some of us are in this world where we just want to be perfect angels. But if you're able to communicate and show others that, hey, I am also human. I love the way Pastor Sam does it. Pastor Sam makes you believe he's really human. Pastor Mukabe is very real. He talks about things that some of us will struggle. He will talk about going to the toilet. Some of us will not talk about Pastor Sam. is Pastor Sam. He is Pastor Sam. He's Pastor Sam. Him alone can do all of those things. But just being very vulnerable, you know. I mean, so he was here telling us, I love Pastor Sam. This is so good for a leader. He was here telling us his projections of how much he expected in his business. And then when it didn't work out, he came back here and said, I lost a lot of money. Eh? Yes. So he was real. He told us what he was expecting, and when things didn't work out, he still came back to us and stood here and told us, it didn't what? It didn't work out. That is real. That is being authentic. He didn't want to leave us there, like he had told us billions, and now we start seeing him like a billionaire. He came and said, I want to be a billionaire, but this time it didn't work. And I'm going again. He was being honest. He was being vulnerable. He was being real. Are you with me here? Okay, 10. We are gone. Connecting takes time and effort. Give me the words. Finally, real connection doesn't happen instantly. It requires constant, intentional effort. I did not know the difference between Bavaria and Nakato the first time I saw them. But it took time meeting them. Now, as time goes by, now I'm able to tell when they talk, I'm now starting to know the difference in their voice, in their tone, the way they communicate. But it takes time to do that. So connection does not just happen immediately, because you as a leader, you have to connect. It may take some time to do that. Building trust and understanding takes time, but the rewards are worth it, as true connection leads to lasting influence. So one of the things you have to do as a leader, anytime you meet people, you need to seek to connect. But remember, to connect is not a one-day event. It is going to take some time. You get to know people, you get to hear their stories, you get to understand them. I mean, as time goes by, they get to trust you more. They start revealing some stories more. They keep telling you more. Eventually, the person who was an angel the first time you met, after 6 months or after 1 year, that person becomes a human being. Because normally when you meet people for the first time, they only show you their good side. But as time goes by, they start to open up. They start to be real. I think it's only Pastor Sam you meet the first time and he gives you the whole book. Some people, you have to continue meeting them over time, and then you say, oh, wow, this is the person. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. Tomorrow there's going to be a service here. These are things that I'm discussing with you that I believe if you apply, they'll make you a better leader. They'll make you a better business person. They'll make you a better husband, a better wife, a better parent. They'll make you a better politician. Are you with me? So go be a master of good communication. Amen. With that, surely goodness and mercy, all the days of our lives, we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen.